As I cover survival games on a weekly basis, something I commonly get asked is, what are some survival games that are more PvE friendly rather than just PvP? And if that's you, well, I think I got you covered in this video. In case you haven't noticed, I am a huge PvE player myself, so I totally understand where you might be coming from. Now, having a good co-op survival game is always something I look forward to. Not that there is anything wrong with PvP, I just find myself leaning more towards PvE a lot more. And instead of offering something you may have heard of, for instance Valheim or even 7 Days to Die, I decided to dedicate this video to one of the most underrated survival games I have ever covered on this channel, Subsistence. Now, I covered this game previously on my channel and there were certainly some things that I very much disliked about this game. But overall speaking, this game has shook my expectations on just a whole nother level. Let me just keep everyone on the same page for just a minute. Think of Subsistence as Rust, but rather than having a bunch of players running around on one dedicated server, this is more solely focused on PvE in mind. Once you claim your base, the game will start spawning AI players on the map, and they will start building bases themselves. And what's even more cool is that upon discovering your base, they will attempt to raid you and take your loot at the same time. However, do keep in mind they will only spawn once you claim your base. Technically speaking, you can explore the map for as long as you want to without seeing a single AI, so long as you don't claim your base. Now, something also worth mentioning is its dynamic weather system in Subsistence. The game system is based on the real-life cycle of life. You will experience different seasons within the game, and the minor details make this game incredibly immersive. For example, during the winter time, the water will freeze and you will have to find a different way, a more efficient way per se, to get clean water. Some animals will hibernate during the winter time and you won't see them until summer. Certain fruits and vegetables will also not grow during the winter time and you'll have to either farm or simply rely on other carbohydrates in this game. Speaking of carbohydrates, as you begin your journey, you will also have to worry about your protein bar, your hydration, and of course your carbs. If for whatever reason your character lacks in either one of those, your stamina will be affected by it. Just like any other survival game, you will also have to pay attention to your temperature meter, which can and will kill you if you're not being very careful with it. Now, last year the solo developer implemented quads and gliders into this game as a way of transportation, and very recently we received a reworked water system, so instead of individually running around and watering your plants on your farm, you can now build a water system that will do that heavy lifting for you. On top of that, you can also rent your own server through Nitrado, and that alone makes things a bit more interesting. Instead of playing this game in co-op mode, you can now rent a server and have other players join you in different times. I love co-op, I enjoy the stability of it, but unfortunately when you play co-op, other players are limited as to when they can play with you and join your particular game. Meaning if the host is not around, nobody else is going to be able to just hop on the server, hop in the game and finish the process. So having a server host eliminates that issue completely. Now, I don't know how stable the servers are. I personally never tried it, but I can only imagine that the game runs great. Something you absolutely need to keep in mind about this developer in particular, and he's only one of the few, is the fact that his updates are very slow in terms of production. However, they are full of quality. In fact, every time he drops an update, I have never had any issues at all. And as far as performance goes, I'm absolutely stoked by the quality and stability of Subsistence. The game currently plays as a finished project, and you'll never see any weird glitches or other misleading issues within the game. The game is heavily inspired by Rust, and that's without a doubt, except with its own little implementation. For a game like this, the grind is very much expected, let's make that very clear. It's actually pretty funny because to this day, I still ask this developer to release a chainsaw so that way collecting wood becomes more efficient. Now, for fuel efficiency, you can use coal instead of wood, but when it comes to the wood collection, it always seems the same. You'll have to smack the same tree over and over and over again, the same amount of times as day one. Nothing will ever change. So I just hope that in the future, maybe we have more efficient way of getting wood. And that's why I think chainsaws would be very effective. Unless, of course, there's something I'm not understanding. And this will conclude today's video. If you find yourself searching for a survival game that involves no shooting at people, or AIs in that matter, and most importantly something you can enjoy with your friends, this survival game will definitely have you covered. Subsistence has always been my go-to personally. I don't play it a whole lot, but whenever I do play it, I very much know for a fact that I'm gonna have quality time. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this video was useful to you. This is your boy Roos, and I'm out. Goodbye.